All right. I think we can get going. Welcome everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Anya. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer of Diversio, and we're the organization that is hosting this summit this morning and throughout the day. I am incredibly excited to be hosting our third annual Inclusion Summit today, joined by our incredible speakers across many different sectors and company sizes. And I think the reason why I'm so keen to always do these welcome remarks and kind of set the stage before the event kicks off is that I'm very familiar with how lonely our work can get during the best of times. In many of our organizations, we might be the only diversity, equity, and inclusion practitioners. Sometimes we might be one of the only HR people. Sometimes we have a team, but it's a very small team, and we're responsible for the entire organization or company. And that's why I think that these conversations are so important. There's so much that we can learn from each other, and the opportunities to come together and ask questions, as well as understand what other peers in the space are doing, is an incredibly valuable thing when we're trying to bring knowledge and trying to bring best practices back to our own companies. This year's summit is probably all the more important given the economic headwinds many of our companies are facing. We have shrinking budgets, we have shifting mandates. I'm sure that that's familiar to many of you. And oftentimes it's becoming more and more challenging to preserve the progress that many of you have made in recent years, as well as to keep that momentum going. So today, to inspire all of you to keep going, as well as to hopefully give you some practical advice and strategies on how to continue making gains, we've invited experts and practitioners and thought leaders to share their stories. And I couldn't be more excited to walk you through how the day will play out, because it's going to be full of very fascinating conversations. So on the agenda for today, we have at the beginning in the morning, what we'll start with is a few workshops to hopefully help you kind of better understand how to maybe navigate and how to build the business case and the ROI for investing in diversity and inclusion for your leaders, as well as for the broader organizations internally. So we'll start with two workshops. The first is called Retention Renaissance, some morning alliteration there. And we're going to be looking at the return on investment behind diversity and inclusion strategies for keeping talent. So in the current economic context, making sure that we're reducing employee churn is higher than ever. So how do we do that, and how does diversity and inclusion help with that? The next session that we're going to jump into at 10:45 is From Scarcity to Abundance, where we'll be looking at navigating emerging DEI challenges and how to use what you have in order to make the biggest gains possible, what to focus on, and how to see those outsized effects. After that, we're going to do a little bit of a demo. We have a new technology platform that we are launching very shortly to our clients, as well as our partners, and wanted to show you and share with you a little bit of what that looks like. That will be at 11:15. And then for the afternoon, we will be jumping straight into some really fantastic panels. We'll have a fireside chat on AI's role in shaping the future of DEI. And then we'll go into our panel with fantastic panelists from companies like Disney and BCI and our very own TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, located here. And what will we be talking about? We'll be looking at unmasking community culture and engagement data in media and entertainment during our Beyond the Spotlight panel. We'll be looking at magnifying and multiplying how diversity, culture, and community can fuel scaling success. So for organizations that are growing, or investors who are investing in portfolio companies that are rapidly growing, what does that look like? We'll be listening to Cracking the Code for DEI and data in complex organizational landscapes. Data is, of course, becoming incredibly important to all of our jobs. So how do we leverage that and how do we use that? And then we'll finish off with some closing remarks around 3:30. Those will be done by my other co-founder, Laura McGee, who's our wonderful CEO. So looking at the next slide, I just wanted to flag for you that we're also really excited and pleased to have some offers available to you in case you were interested in anything that we're talking about today. So we're going to be sharing with you a code for 20% off for the Diversio platform. I think that's going to be pasted in the chat right now. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. This is for our core platform, for which we're going to be doing the demo at 12:15. And then we're also offering a free diversity, equity, and inclusion professional certification. So this is an accreditation that is recognized by the Human Resources Professional Association. We actually partnered with them in order to launch it. It's a self-paced version, so it's online, so you can go at your own speed. And ultimately, what it's designed to do is give you that foundation to be bringing DEI into your organizations. It covers things like inclusive recruiting and hiring. It covers things like establishing flexible workplaces that are inclusive of all your employees, allyship in the workplace, combating unconscious bias, leveraging data, and more. The idea ultimately is for us to help you bring these practices into your workplaces. And before we jump into the first session, which is conveniently going to be led by me, wanted to also give a really big shout out to our sponsors for today, A&M and the Investor Leadership Network and MLT. They have been incredible partners to us throughout our journey and really doing fantastic work in the diversity and inclusion space and beyond. And if you'd like to find out anything about any of them, you can go to our website where we talk about our partnerships, and you can really deep dive on the wonderful things that they offer and that they do.